Everyone, happy Friday.
Friday it is.
Oh, bring it on, John. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Really, that's a dangerous thing to tell me because I will up the energy, I will make it crazy, I will make it weird. But
That's
let's
what
talk.
we need. We need you to
We
carry
need.
us, carry our energy into the weekend.
Hey, I'll be happy to do that. I want to talk about your weather. Dan, if you don't mind letting me share the screen, Director Dan, I want to be able to show off the radar situation we have right now. Spotty showers and storms moving through the area. Some rumbles of thunder earlier, had a little break in the action now, but you can see they're moving on through. They're scattered in nature now, but they do pack a little punch. They weaken as they get a little bit closer towards the lakefront. But these showers and storms are going to be on and off throughout the day. There's going to be a lot of periods of dry time, but we're looking at a pretty active system. And as we get really humid later on this afternoon and temperatures rising to the 90s, we're going to be in for potentially some pretty severe weather tonight. We're in a risk 3 category for most of the area. So passing storms here, again, possibly some severe weather later on. 90 degrees will be the high temperature. You will see some sunshine on and off too, but it'll be truncated by a lot of storms here and there. 7-day forecast shows we cool down a little bit tomorrow. We're still muggy. Not a terrible weekend, just on and off showers and storms. It's going to be muggy out there. Gross on Monday. I'd say Monday and Tuesday are going to feel really, really nasty. Bad hair days, grossness, sweaty as soon as you walk out the door. It's summer, that's what you get, especially Monday, where you got some indications that the heat indices could be approaching near 100. And then we kind of lose a little of the humidity at the end of the next week, but really the next 6 days, kind of a carbon copy of each other. Possible storms, hot, humid.
Yeah. The weather has changed so much. I had patio plans on a Friday.
Oh no.
I
No
know.
patio plans today.
Phase 4, you could go inside, 25% capacity inside the restaurants. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but I don't think all restaurants are ready to get back to that. They
Yeah,
want
with you on
to,
that one.
but how is the question?
Yeah.
Hey, let's get into some top stories this morning. The Trump administration is once again hoping the Supreme Court will end Obamacare. So, in a late night filing, the Department of Justice asked the court to invalidate the entire law. The DOJ argues that the Affordable Care Act be nullified if the law's individual coverage mandate and 2 key provisions are axed. The justices will hear arguments in the case sometime next term, but if this goes through, some 20 million Americans will lose health care coverage, many of whom just got it after losing their jobs.
Yeah, this just seems so political and so ill-timed. I know that this has been a push since the beginning of President Trump's presidency, to try and change this. But given the fact that so many people lost their health care because they have lost their jobs, why now? Why now? It just feels political.
Yeah, very much so. And like he's trying to rile up his base before the election.
Right.
That hasn't worked. They lost Congress in 2018, the House, because they were against Obamacare. And the Democrats ran hard on health care. And you see Joe Biden, he had a speech yesterday. What was it about? A little bit about the pandemic, a little bit about Trump, but it was about health care. And that will be the Democrats' messaging going forward. President Trump is taking care of his own mess in terms of this pandemic. We all could read the headlines, but Joe Biden and the Democrats are going to do the same game plan they ran in 2018. They're going to run on health care. I think it's a terrible look. I'm shocked that they're trying once again to strike this down in the courts. They failed a few times. They failed legislatively, and it's really surprising that they're going after this for a 2020 campaign.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we'll continue this morning with our Ask the Alderman segment, one that we really, really love because we get an opportunity to talk with our local elected officials, which we can say all agree is super important. So we're joined this morning by 16th Ward Alderman Stephanie Coleman. The 16th Ward is home to 5 historic and diverse communities, just FYI. We got Chicago Lawn, Inglewood, Gage Park, New City, and of course, West Inglewood. So Stephanie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Felicia, John, and Amy for having me.
I need your energy, Alderman.
I know.
It's Friday. We're here, and the Chicago is beautiful, and we are great. And Inglewood is rising together. Chicago Lawn is rising. Gage Park is rising. Our city on the south and west side. We're definitely in this together.
Yeah, John, Amy, that's a leader.
There you go.
Alderman Coleman, thank you so much for your energy. As we ease into the weekend, we definitely need that. But we also know that we're we're easing into phase 4 of this reopening plan. How is your ward handling everything?
You know what? We are excited for just for the new normal, right? We're Zooming and we've been so virtually active with one another. Now, phase 4 will give some type of normalcy, especially to our young people and parents who have been, virtually doing everything. So just more interactions, but still reminding everyone that numbers are still at a rise, right? So we still have to stay 6 feet, wear our mask at all time, mask.
Yeah.
And really, I'm more excited about supporting our local businesses, and that our businesses and our economy and, things will still grow, but still being conscientious of the climate and that we still have to stay safe.
Alderman, I wanted to ask, obviously neighboring Alderman Lopez has had some strong words against the mayor in her response to what happened to the protest. How do you feel like your ward has held up during what happened during the peaceful protests and then what happened afterwards with some people as well? How do you feel your ward and your relationship with the mayor has been?
I believe that none of us, John, expected what happened on the morning of May 31st. There is not, this will literally go down in the history books of Chicago of what truly happened, especially on the south and west side of Chicago, the devastation, the disparities. It also brings more attention to the injustices that our communities have endured. So I think that the mayor has done all that it, including our superintendent, could have done more. Absolutely. But was there a roll book? Was there a warning? Absolutely not. So considering, I want to applaud my colleagues of all of the Chicago Alderman Black Caucus and the Latino Caucus. We have really shown and stepped up our leadership skills in getting resources for those businesses and really holding the mayor and superintendent and those CPD accountable and how we're going to move forward, because we have to rise. There is no other way but up from here.
The city council recently voted to keep Chicago police in Chicago public schools, very narrowly voted to keep them in. What are your thoughts about having CPS officers in schools and really CPD officers in general?
Yeah, so the board actually voted 4-3 a couple of days ago in terms of the $30 million in funding. We have to keep our children safe, okay? Their safety is our priority. And I can't speak for the other 49 wards. I'm going to speak for the 16th ward. And the model that we have 2 amazing officers in Network 11, and they visit every schools, about 11 schools. And they are the first relationship that our children get to interact with officers in the school. And that model, which I think that all other 49 wards and all the other police districts, but that model is ideal because that is the first building of trust for the men and women that serve and protect us. So I want to just make sure that we also consider that the safety of our children is our #1 priority. I understand that the climate and what has happened in the last 3 months, but I'm a toss up because I'm more concerned, and my #1 priority is the safety of our children, and then supporting social services. That's the real investment. More counselors for those at-risk youth, because there's a deeper, again, Felicia, John, and Amy, there's a bigger lens, which is the social injustices that have taken place. And I think it exposed so much.
We have an appointed school board. Would you prefer an elected school board in Chicago?
Absolutely. I support an elected school board and really hope that one day that will come into fruition.
So much going on, so many issues to cover. As we wrap up here, what are the top things just on your desk right now?
Well, continuing that our community will be rising. We have some amazing projects and new development coming up in the 16th ward. There's an expansion of railroad intermodal that will bring forth more job opportunities in the Chicagoland area. We have a mixed use development coming in Inglewood. There is we have a new park with Senator Tony Munoz right in the Chicagoland Engaged Park community. So I'm excited we have a brand new $300,000 investment in Lindblom Park from the Chicago Cubs. So I'm excited about moving forward and taking our community to the next level, because truly the 16th ward is rising.
Okay.
Hold on, the Cubs on the south side, that's a problem.
Well,
What'd you say, John?
Cubs.
Getting new baseball diamonds from the Cubs. I know the White Sox need to step it up.
Right?
Yeah, they do a good job too. One Chicago, that's what matters.
That's right, one Chicago.
Alderman Coleman, thank you. We needed your energy right now, and I think the city needs that
you.
energy as well. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you all. Have a fabulous Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, it's so sweet. Alderman Coleman, here she is, 16th Ward. Here you could check out her social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, as well as Instagram, and 16thward.org has a lot more information.
The stigma around PTSD has really changed over the last 10, 15 years or so, thank goodness. And tomorrow's actually PTSD Awareness Day. And one company right here in Chicago is actually dedicated itself to helping veterans get back on their feet. So we're joined by Alex Witt this morning. He's the CEO and partner at Battle Bars. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, Alex, welcome to the show here this morning.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
If you could walk through the connection and how you got involved in this and why, PTSD awareness and funding for that is important to you.
Yeah, so I got out of the military, and my transition from the military, we can talk about that in a second, is it's a challenge when you transition out, not knowing what to do or what you're going to do or where you're going to go. So I got into the business world, had some success, sold our previous business, and I knew that I wanted to do something passionate with veterans and first responder community, and understanding and be able to connect with them on a different level was just something else. And, being overseas, I used to eat all these random protein bars or random nutrition bars. And raise your hand if you've had a protein bar and you're like, it's good, but yeah, right. It's good, but it's like the best of the worst, right? We were like, we want to create something that is like a mixture between, and we're not probably supposed to market it this way, but a mixture between like a Rice Krispie treat and something natural tasting. And I'll tell you what, we nailed it. And we have no artificial sweeteners, no artificial really anything in the bars. And we have premium ingredients like collagen, like BCAAs, all gluten-free, non-GMO. And like you were saying, our partnership with Operation Enduring Warrior. I've learned over the years, John, that anytime in business that you do something and you're thinking about money first, you're going to have a challenge. And I believe that we have something that we're extremely passionate about, and we have a mission first rule in our business. So to support our veterans and our first responders out there that are on the front lines every day and having mental scars and physical scars, and seeing them and talking to them on a regular basis, it's impossible for me to ever fail. Once you help one person, that is contagious as hell. You want to help a million after that.
When I don't think people realize how many people are affected by PTSD. I have a close friend who suffers from it, and how many aspects of your life that it touches.
100%. I mean, because no one that has PTSD is ever going to be like, yep, PTSD right off the bat. A lot of people, what I think going into the public is saying, like, don't just ask someone how they're doing. You can't just say, hey, how are you? And if they say, okay, you're like, all right, good, you're fine. If this is a person you care about, physical contact, talking about their day, what they're doing, what their future's like. If you have a way to get in touch with them or get them into success or just get them moving on a regular basis, and that's what we're really trying to promote, is just stay mobile and stay active.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about it, of course, from the veteran perspective, but I'm also thinking about it for people who have not served, who might be struggling with PTSD as well. It's not just our veterans. Anything traumatic can, of course, put you there. And then also thinking about the connection between our veterans and the homelessness. Is that something that you guys work on or you talk about or one of your initiatives?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so, transitioning from the military it's a scary thing. Most people are 18 to 24 years old, a very vulnerable age, and your mind is still kind of molding into what you want to do with your life. Some people are still doing it in their 30s and 40s, right? So, that transition, you get into the military at 18, and all of a sudden, after you get out, that paycheck that you're just expecting, no matter what you do that week, just stops. Mm-hmm. And that's very scary for someone, especially if you had a traumatic experience or traumatic time in a war zone. So you're dealing with mental toughness issues. You're dealing with a lot of things behind the scenes that you don't really want to admit to or talk about. So that is really what our partnership with Operation Enduring Warrior. These guys are taking men and women who have physical scars and mental scars. Taking them on team building events. They're taking them on to build up their resumes, get them back into the real world, and telling them, "Hey, you can do this." My ultimate dream. Sorry, John, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, the idea of, obviously PTSD requires a lot of times some professional help from mental health experts, but a lot of it is giving veterans who return home that mission that they had before, and that is often the driving force behind it, whether you're an entrepreneur yourself starting a new business. And that's why people that served in the military are excellent employees for so many different reasons. And that's one way that the civilian side of things can really take care of our vets when they come back, is employ them.
I mean, it's dead on, my dream, my legit dream. I mean, this business is not about becoming it. And anyone that says they don't want to become rich and whatever is maybe full of it. But my ultimate dream is to write a $1 million check. I get even emotional when I talk about it. Like I legit go to bed every night and wake up every morning thinking about writing $1 million check to our charity. It's like you see these people and you go on these races and you see like what they go through, and it's like, my best friend was a police officer and served with me in Iraq, and he was killed. And for me, that is my why for everything. I wake up, that is like, I want to make sure that I make a difference. And I know that someday, no matter what, the money will be there. It'll just be there. If you do the right thing, you lead with some integrity, the money will be there.
Amazing motivation.
Yeah.
Alex, thanks so much for joining us here this morning, okay?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate having us on and bringing awareness to this issue, all right?
Thank you.
And some bars, by the way. We're sending you guys a bunch. Not kidding.
Okay.
The best thing that you will ever taste in life. I promise you. You'll never even look at another protein bar ever the same ever again. All right.
I can't wait to try it. Let's get the information up for Battle Bars if you want to try them too. Battle_bars_BattleBars1. You can see all the information there, battlebars.com. And also, just as importantly, if you are a veteran in crisis, there is help. We got a phone number for you, 1-800-273-8255. You press 1 on that thing. You can also text 838-255 or go to veteranscrisisline.net. And most importantly, if you've got veterans in your life, open up conversations with them, open up that avenue for them to be able to chat with you too.
Well, you guys, the coronavirus, of course, is not letting up. The U.S. just hit a new record for COVID cases in a single day, topping more than 37,000. We're seeing surges in several states now. Comes just as Illinois and Chicago are about to enter phase 4 of the governor's reopening plan. So that means we can get back to indoor dining, the movies, and even going to the gym. Deanna Gutierrez visited On Your Mark on the city's west side to see how it's managing COVID-19 guidelines and offering some alternatives if you're not quite ready to fully jump back into your old routine.
Start fresh, it's like our second new year. Get someone to help you, find somebody to help you with some coaching, whether you want to go the individual route or the group route.
Emily Hutchins owns this On Your Mark studio on the west side. She's also a Nike master trainer and Nike Run Club coach.
Nice job, girls, nice job.
During the day, she's either hyping up the people who come and work out.
Then you're going to bring that arm down.
Or she's focused on individual training. But things have changed since COVID-19 hit. As small gyms and studios are starting to open, there are some risks that might go unnoticed, injury being one.
If you've been working out, and you've maybe only been doing body weight, coming back to the gym is still going to be it could be a little bit on the aggressive side if you're not ready for it. Or if you've not been working out, coming back to the gym also can be on the aggressive side. Breathe out on the way up. Yep.
Coach M says it's time to navigate some sort of new normal. The best alternative is to get with a personal trainer.
You get a lot more individual attention. It's a lot more based on where you're at now versus getting into a group scenario. It's a little bit less of an intimate session when you're in a group scenario.
And come back in a smart way.
Don't come back to the gym expecting to be able to throw up 265 pounds on the bench press if that's what you were doing beforehand. What's important is that you're getting back into some sort of structure and that you're able to focus on progressing. Ooh, yeah, big push, last one.
To be honest, even for me, that 15-pound weight was a bit of a struggle. And of course, the added features to your routine, wearing a mask and social distancing, which Hutchins says is easy at On Your Mark.
We don't have to worry about a packed gym or packed classes. But it's still navigating a new normal. You know, we have to do our classes outside right now. They don't want to put you in a position with a mask on where you're uncomfortable, unable to breathe. Obviously, that's a different set of problems.
Guidelines for classes and trainers have also changed.
The trainers will always have their masks on, so if it's a matter of just social distancing by 10 feet instead of 6, those are more of the guidelines that we've been given.
If you're not entirely ready to get into the gym, that's okay. There are apps that can help you along the way. For example, Nike Run Club and Nike Training Club.
You can scale it to workouts that are only body weight if you don't have any equipment at home. You can filter what you have available and what you don't.
For the active mom and dads out there, there's also a kid feature, so there's technically no excuse, but it's not all about physical fitness. Hutchins says moving helps release the stress and tension that's been building up during these months of quarantine.
Getting back into some sort of regimen is going to help combat that stress tremendously, just for our own, obviously, physical well-being, but even more importantly, our mental and emotional well-being.
I'm so excited because I signed up yesterday for 3 classes at my gym.
Really? You're going back?
Yeah. Well, I'm off next week. I'm going on vacation. So the gym's actually opening on Saturday, but the classes fill up so fast. I wanted to make sure for the following week I got signed up for one.
Yeah. Oh, so are you going to be in there with a mask or no?
You have to. Yeah, it's a rule.
Yeah,
Okay.
even Enrique's been doing his CrossFit classes outside, and even they're wearing masks too during that. Today is the first day inside for them too, so it's exciting. I'm so excited for everyone. I'm great. We gotta follow the rules.
I know.
And wear those.
Screw it up for everybody.
Because we will, and I appreciate that the administration is not afraid. The Illinois governor administration not afraid to roll back to phase 3, which they should be. We don't want to react slowly if things start going the other way. So the more we all can do together, blah, 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 you know the rest. I don't need to talk.
Yeah. All right, we got a lot coming up at 11 o'clock for our show. One conversation I'm excited to have is Farisa Knox joining us, and she's going to talk about what businesses are doing right now, how Black business owners are surviving, but also giving tips on what business owners should be saying to their staff during this time. You know, we're kind of at a time right now where you can't really avoid what's going on as we talk about the ending systemic racism, and we talk about equalizing the playing field, and we talk about also the pandemic. You know, how do you address your employees at this time? We'll break that down.
Yeah, and I'm super excited, and so is Henry, because Kimmy Gibbler's coming on the show today. Yeah, Andrea Barber from Full House and then Fuller House will be with us.
And I'm going to be broadcasting live from Broken English Taco Pub in Lincoln Park.
Oh, I love them. Which location?
Lincoln Park, as I just said, Felicia.
I didn't hear it because it's a Zoom call, John. It doesn't come through clear. Don't make me come through the screen.
Just come through English. Just come to the pub. All right, we'll see you
I'll
at 11.
come right on through the screen, John. You won't even see it.